you still on like bail conditions or shit, saying you have to stay down in Dunedin? Or?
Nah, no, I can go anywhere.
Oh, cool. Because I remember a couple of years back.
My parole's over too. That was over in June, so they got no hold over. They kept a fucking bracelet on me to the very last day, mate.
Really?
An electronic bracelet. Yep.
Yeah.
On stuff, you'll see a story on it when they come around the Monday to take it off.
Right. Cool. All right.
All right, it's the last day, mate. You know.
So what do you want to chat about first? These the minutes and decisions of the release, or just what's going on in the mainstream about this 18?
Probably a bit of a lead up to it, like about how the corrections fought tooth and nail to stop it getting out there.
Oh, mate, the floor's yours. You tell your story. Yeah. I've got any questions, so I'll pop in.
Yeah, right, mate. Well, you can just edit it as you please, anyway.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so as usual, corrections fought like hell, deployed every resource at its command. It's not using Crown law, funny enough, in this case. It's hired, what are they called? The bloody Crown solicitors.
All right. I know.
Yeah.
I know the company you're talking about, but I can't.
Yeah, is it Meredith Connell or something?
Yeah.
And like that. Yeah, they hired them to bloody represent them. Hey, Crown law probably didn't want to bar it. Was that they obviously saw the writing on the fucking wall what was going on here. They were representing them to start with, then they stopped and corrections got this private legal firm into the Crown solicitors.
Why do you reckon they changed tack on that, just to sort of arm's length distance? Or?
My guess is that they realised that some skullduggery had gone on here, and they probably didn't want to have Crown law as a name associated with it. That's my guess. Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me, although Crown law doesn't have a very good name to begin with now, does it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and the two pricks that they hired to represent them, they were fucking. I wouldn't trust them out of my sight, either of them. They one of them flew down into Dunedin and tried to settle the case with me. He flew down here, took me out to lunch at bloody Spates Ale House for lunch. Yep. Fucking had quite a few drinks and fucking got a bit pissed. And and before he flew down, he says, Arthur, let me know I've got the Treasury on speed dial, he reckons.
Oh, really?
I thought they were negotiating in good faith, but it was just a fucking stalling tactic, Mark,
Just to put you down.
Try and, interfere with my preparation for trial, I reckon. Thinking, they want to settle it, admit their misdemeanors and, well, whatever.
Yeah, it's a bit of a difficult thing it's a bit of a difficult thing to get them to admit bloody anything, isn't it?
I know, yeah. Well, funny enough, during the trial, we had the manager of Mount Eden, he wasn't a bad sort of bloke, actually. He actually apologised and said, we got it wrong, Arthur. We know, I apologise, But, obviously it didn't permeate right through to the corrections lawyers and the fucking rest of the corrections.
No, of course, it'll just be his personal opinion and have no weight.
Yeah, he's now the director of Perimeter Maximum Security Prison, so maybe, carries on with being a reasonable sort of bloke,
Yeah.
Up there. Although Mount Eden was a big fuck up because he didn't know half of what was going on there right under his nose, because that's how these prisons operate. They don't tell the management half of, the director anyway, half of what's going on in their prisons.
Well, the less they don't know, the less they have to deal with, isn't it?
Exactly. What's it called? Plausible deniability or something?
Yeah, they love that plausible deniability. And what's that other catchphrase they love to use? Trust and confidence, I hear a lot. What fucking trust and confidence?
I know. They got they talk about criminals having a fucking emo and modus operandi, but these bastards have got an emo all of their own. You see it come up time and time again, Mark?
Yep. Absolutely, mate.
What worries the hell out of me is they're cross-pollinating to bloody agencies like Onanga Tamariki, OT, and taking their bad culture and habits and practices with them there.
Yeah.
Although they've got enough of their own already, but they're making it worse.
OT's got decades of fucking bullshit to answer to, I personally believe. But I think the solution with OT is not to let the kids get into the system in the first place. Deal with it before it gets that hard.
Exactly. That's what I said to the Royal Commission. You don't remove a kid from its whānau family unless it's it's necessary to protect its bloody safety and well-being or life, basically.
Yeah, well, that's right. I've got your Royal Commission interview and whatnot up on the channel. That's right.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah.
I bet they'll disappear in a few years after the Royal Commission shuts down the website, and then all of a sudden there's nothing anymore. It's the whole reason I captured them.
Oh, they're only so fucking obvious, you know, where they, you know, the old tricks they pull, you know, sweep things under the carpet and that. Yeah. So they fought tooth and nail, Mark, because obviously the CCTV is what it is. You know, I've always said the CCTV shows what happened. You know, but they fought tooth and nail. They managed to. They obviously could out-resource me during the case. I mean, I won a few points on the case. I got 18 grand awarded, you know, for different things.
Sure.
Unlawful strip searches and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the judge wouldn't accept that I was unconscious all that time, and mainly down actually, Mark, to a bloody doctor they hired from Auckland Hospital. Christ knows what they paid him. You know, he would have been paid a bloody. I asked him on the stand. He said, "I was only paid my ordinary fees." I said, "Well, what are they?" He said, "Just my normal fees." You know?
Elaborate. Yeah. And how much was that?
Yeah, exactly. Quite like what you and I would consider a very nice little nest egg, I would say.
Yeah. You
know, if we could get our hands on it. But so they out-resourced me. I reckon this case probably cost them the best part of $500,000. You know, costs them. They had 36 fucking prison officers they called as witnesses. You know.
Whoa. And in the video,
everyone from Jeanette Burns.
Them, but...
Yeah. Everyone from Jeanette Burns, who's the head of now PETU, the Prison of Exceptional Risk Unit, where they hold Tarrant and that.
Yeah.
She's in charge of that. She's the big boss there. They called everyone from Jeanette Burns to Tom Sherlock to the managers of Mount Eden, Waikeria, Paramaribo. They called them all. You know, all in an effort to snow me under. It was a 6-week trial, Mark.
So what were they trying to do? They were all trying to say, "Oh, he was bullshit. He was not unconscious."
Yeah, basically. Well, they weren't all trying to say that. They were trying to make out I was a bad bugger, basically, and therefore, you know, we can do whatever the fuck we like to bad buggers, you know.
You've never seemed violent to me in the times I've met you, mate. You've just seemed like a
seriously, Mark.
Yeah.
Seriously, I'm lucky to be alive. I'm telling you it now. I'm fucking lucky to be alive, mate. Anything could have happened to me while I was unconscious.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Especially transporting you unconscious, because that's a no-no.
Well, here's the stupid thing, you see. Under their own policy and guidelines, see, when I went unconscious in that, they had no choice but to declare me an at-risk prisoner, which means, you know, you've got to be put on this intervention support unit, right? You don't get transferred 2 hours down to Waikeria. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fucking outrageous.
Especially if you're at risk, the last thing you want to do is start transporting them anywhere. You want to keep them somewhere
exactly.
Safe. Yeah.
And Christ knows what it costs. I mean, it was a special escort van, bloody 6 or 7 screws, a nurse, all sorts of shit, you know?
So if there was a nurse there, did she not see if you were unconscious?
Well, that's the problem. Anyone that's been in prison, that's had anything to do with the prison medical will say, you know, like their first duty should be to their patients, right?
Right.
No, Mark, in prison, their first duty is to the corrections department. If the custodial staff want something and it interferes with what the medical staff want, guess who wins? Yeah.
They do.
Anyway, they make a habit of hiring, you know, a lot of Filipinos that have just come into the country from the Philippines, and they've got even more, you know, they even got even more power over them.
Yeah, well, they're happy to just be there and be working, really, aren't they?
Exactly. Yeah. Like the nurse, there are a few honest ones. Like we got one of the nurses at Waikeria, one of the senior nurses. He said actually, someone in that state should have been taken straight to hospital. You know, straight to hospital. To be checked for a start, you know, you just don't know.
Were you given any sort of medical attention?
None. They come and they put a thing, an oximeter or something they call it on my finger.
Oh,
that showed for a start I was unconscious. And they just ignore that. If you look at the video, you can actually see it pulsing. It's called a pulses. Yeah. And if you count the number of pulses.
Once they rolled you over, it looked like there were a few of them jumping on top of you. I was looking for any sort of leg movement or kicking, and you were just You were just moving with them moving you. You weren't doing anything.
Honestly, mate, when I went down in that office, when they ambushed me, right, and come at me, I didn't wake up till I got to Waikeria, you know. And if you've seen the bits, you know, I mean, the wheelchair and all that, and if you watch my legs, you'll see it dragging along behind me and things like that, you know.
Yeah, when you're on the gurney going down the hallway and stuff.
Yeah. Well, even at Waikeria when I was, you know, there, yeah.
You would think with like 15 screws following you down the hallway, at least one of them would make sure you're on the gurney properly, but. Guess that's just a little bit too difficult for those people.
You know, at the risk of diminishing corrections' reputation even more than it already is. I think my health and safety was the last thing on their mind. You know?
Yeah, but it should be the
some of the staff have since apologised to me and rang me up and spoken to me and said, look, we're sorry, Arthur, we had to do what we ordered, you know. That's it.
So where do morals come into it? They're ordered, they're just worried about their jobs, I suppose, and their mortgage and all the keeping their job, as opposed to the actual moral and ethical things they do.
I know. Well, you know how out on the outside you've got this blue code where, you know, the cops all stick together and tell the same story? Well, that's the same in corrections. It's a green code, you know. They have to back each other up, and they do. Yeah.
Just what happens, bring no scorn towards the DOC.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I was when I was up in Auckland about 6 months ago, I was in St. Luke's underground car park over there at St. Luke's. Yep. This big island boy comes bounding towards me, and I thought, oh, fuck, it's all on now. Who is he? Right? He sticks out his hand and he says, hey, Arthur. He said, you wouldn't have seen me up at Perry. He said, I'm only recently, he said, I'm a prison officer up at Perry. I work part-time security guard here at St. Luke's. He said, I just want to tell you that a lot of the staff up there really, you know, they back you too, you know, but I can't say anything, but they back you, you know, with that fucking management up there, you know. Yeah, he said, they treat us like shit too, he said, you know. Yeah,
it's more of a personally they're probably all good blokes, but once they're in the system and locked down to what they have to do.
Oh, I've no doubt there's some good blokes. I've had beers with a few of them since I got out, you know. They buy me to shout me beers and shit, you know. I've run into them in the old back in Sin Bin there in Northcote.
Right. So carry on. What else?
Yeah. So anyway, so I thought after the judge's findings, you know, he took about 8 months to come to his findings. The case closed in March. We didn't get his findings till just before Christmas, right?
Isn't it strange how it takes them that long? Mind you, 6-week trial. You probably had a lot to go through.
Yep. I did have a lot to go through, yeah. Justice Isaac in Wellington. You know, after his findings, you know, that I mean, I managed to get a guy from Australia he's a bloody decent Aussie doctor. He's one of the ones, the few ones we could get. There's all the medical professions stick together in this country, right? So I had to go to Australia, right? And he was in no doubt, you know, he gave evidence for me, and he was in no doubt that he explained everything, how it happened and everything. But the judge preferred the evidence of the Kiwi doctor. Strange, eh?
I wonder why.
Perhaps, yeah. So, you know, we had the doctor there saying that, you know, that I was unconscious, you know, the Aussie doctor. And Dr. James Freeman, he's a bloody really decent bloke. He was behind with, you know, the Hep C campaign to get the Hep C on the free list with Hazel down here, a friend of mine. Right. He worked with her. They run Global Health New Zealand. He was behind helping set that up too. Yeah. A decent, ordinary bloke, you know, with no extra degree, just wants to tell the fucking truth and see justice. Yeah?
Yeah.
And I didn't pay him any fucking great fees. All of the agreement with him was just to reimburse his costs. We won.
Brilliant.
So, yeah. No extra line. Yeah. But the judge preferred the evidence of the Auckland doctor. I mean, that just ignores what I say the CCTV shows, you know?
Well, you'd think all weight should be given equal determination, wouldn't you?
Well, here's this Aussie doctor giving his opinion, right? Now, he wasn't there. He didn't see anything. He never talked to me. I've never met him in my life. He's only going off the CCTV the same as you and everyone else has. Well, the judge, in this case, that's the primary evidence, right? I say. Oh. Yep. And the judge shouldn't be coloured by some bloody corrections manager that'll go along with them. They must have gone shopping around. I don't know what they did, but you can usually find an expert to say anything you bloody want in a court case if you throw enough money at them.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, but in this case, they were virtually saying to the judge, as far as the CCTV is concerned, hey, you're not really seeing what you're seeing. Mr. Taylor's not unconscious. No, Mr. Taylor's faking it. Now, hey, Mark.
And what did I say to you yesterday in regards to Mark Hannigan or whatever his name was?
Oh, Mark, yeah, no, bloody awesome bloke, Mark. You know, awesome bloke.
The best person to judge what you were feeling is you.
I know, that's right. Yeah. Mark's our foremost expert on family law.
Right.
Bloody awesome human being too, by the way. I've met him several times, know him quite well. Yeah. Been on the piss with him and had a few drinks with him, and he's a decent bloke. He doesn't let his eminence and his great knowledge and everything go to his head. You know, he'll talk to you or me, same as the bloody the Chief Justice. You know.
Yeah, treats everyone equally, which is the way it should be.
Well, when he left Dunedin down here, Christ, the students down here put on a massive show for him. You know, they were so sorry because he was dean of the law down here for 16 years. Mark.
Yeah, so you can't really argue with that type of credentials, can't you?
No, you can't. Well, yeah, well, Mark, yeah. So, no, so basically, you know, ignore that black is white here on this occasion. You're not black is white. You know, that's Mr. Data's faking it. Well, hey, Mark, if I'm faking it, I ought to be getting the fucking Oscar, you know? The best acting ever, mate.
There's definitely 20 years of acting just paying off there for you. Really, I mean.
I know, mate. You try. Remember, I'm being watched all the time. I'm under constant observation by CCTV. Cameras they're wearing on board, ABCs.
Yep.
And I don't, you know, yeah, how could you do that? It's impossible. Yeah. And that's what our doctor in Aussie said too, you know?
So has the mainstream asked you for interviews or any sort of...
No, apart from Stuff. You know, Stuff's got hold of the video and made a story about it.
Yeah, but not even bothered asking you, just looked at the video. And
I know, they all know about it, mate. Believe me, they all know about it. But, you know, obviously it's a slow news season too, so you think they'll be lining up at the door, wouldn't you? Hey?
You would. But, of course, there's the new COVID strains coming out. What is it? Some BB155 or something coming out. It's just starting to get released in the States. So,
well, I don't really think it's that, Mark. I think it's to do with COVID. It's all the money, the big slush funds that they're throwing at the journalists now. You know, under the guys at COVID payments.
Mate, you have a look.
Hundreds of millions of dollars, Mark, going to the mainstream media.
Oh, of course, 53 million. I mean, I mentioned that down at a protest in Wellington when I got on the speaker. But
you can't tell me that amount of money slushing around doesn't have some sort of impression on the decision makers in the newsrooms, you know, as to what's news.
Yeah, well,
you've seen some of the...
Are you familiar with a thing called the Wayback Machine?
No.
Right, it's basically a site, webarchive.org, and you go there and you want to look at what a website looked like beforehand. It takes records of what they look like. And back in 2017 through to 2019, I went and looked at where all these the COVID test kits and PPE and all of that come from. New Zealand was buying all of this in 2017, spending millions of dollars on all of this shit. And I've got and what they did is in 2019 or 20, they changed the word from COVID-19 test kits to medical test kits. If they wanted to change it. But if you go on the Wayback Machine, you can actually see the footage of what it used to look like. And
really?
You know, that's just been completely ignored. That's been blown off some conspiracy, you know, don't listen to them. They're all theorists, you know.
Well, I knew the whole thing was, bullshit from start to finish, Mark, which is why I was a leading figure in the 60-day occupation of our octagon down in Dunedin. 60 days we occupied that octagon.
Yeah, I was watching you. Yeah.
Right. And, it was awesome. It's what Wellington would have been like, if before the infiltrators and fucking shit stirrers and paid provocateurs got set loose on it, you know?
Yeah, little masked fuckers that like to set fire tent.
Yeah, we had bloody, some of the people that have been mandated out of their jobs, bloody teaching the kids and that are coming and sit on the steps and get educated better than they probably have been in their lives. And,
hey,
we had bands coming in, we had a lot.
I'd value your mind as far as law's concerned. So, on the day that the police decide to come down and, do the whole movement in one force to start pushing them out, after, of course, they were all unlawfully trespassed in the first case because they couldn't even get that fucking right. Who created the riot? Because a riot, for me, is more people moving in synchronous against a group. And the police were the ones that caused that, in my opinion. So what do you
I'll tell you something. You probably know I keep, because of what I do, I'm pretty closely connected with, what shall we say, the criminal fraternity.
Yep.
They were offering some of the money to go in there and throw rocks and shit. I'm telling you, the Wellington ones.
Really?
They were offering them money and letting them off charges and all sorts of shit, right?
Yeah.
To go in there and cause shit and mayhem. Criminals.
Oh, it was
even
the whole thing to me
was
until they could get enough police in to do the actual cleanup. That's all it seemed to be to me.
It's shocking, eh? Cars. But I'll tell you what, you might hear, just under all that, so we didn't really get it. They got a fucking shock of their lives, mate. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
Yeah, they got the shock of their lives at the reaction, and that's probably what saved us from it, what was coming.
Well, what happened to Mallard? He sort of disappeared as House Speaker after that all went down. Where did he disappear to?
Well, wherever it wasn't where he really should have disappeared to.
Probably found a nice pond somewhere.
What a piece of shit, eh? Going and fucking turning the sprinklers on the. What a piece of shit! I know Mallard from ages ago when he was like just a bloody MP from bloody Wainui Armada. He's just dodgy as fuck. I'll tell you that now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't trust him out of my sight. As far as I could boot him.
Politicians' lips are moving. There's no point listening. It's bullshit.
Yeah, Trevor Mallard. I can't believe it. It just shows you how far he went from his roots.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good old Hutt Valley Wainui boy. Fucking Speaker of Parliament.
Absolutely, doesn't it?
Turning the bloody Parliament sprinklers on the bloody very people that put the arse in there. Some of them. Yeah.
Yeah, sad.
And thinking it's funny, which just shows you the mentality. Made New Zealand the laughing stock of the world.
Yeah, childish fucking behaviour. And they were supposed to be the representatives, and none of them wanted to come out and talk to him.
Ridiculous, eh?
Yeah.
Particularly when you see some of the
Winston
fringe.
got his photo opportunity, though. Good on Winston.
Well, he couldn't. Look, it always puts me in mind of old Winston. The first time I ever seen him in Tauranga, right? He was getting out of his Mercedes, preening himself in the side guard on his Merc.
Some things you can't fix, no matter how much you prove.
Yeah. He's got a brother that was working in bloody Mount Eden as a prisoner. He's not a bad sort of break, actually. I wish Winston's a bit more like his brother.
Right.
The one that worked. Yeah. Okay. Bloody bit of humour, he is. Yeah.
Sorry,
it's just crazy shit, eh?
I sort of segued a little bit there. Sorry.
Mate. Yeah.
But anything more about the are you doing any more sort of like cases against the Department of Corrections? Are you chasing more up?
Not at the moment. I'm sort of I've just been my main work nowadays actually is chasing up bloody lawyers, and to make them their clients are so many of them are so pissed off they know they're getting shafted,
Yeah.
They get hold of me and I usually give them a phone call, and one call from me usually gets them going,
Right.
I have a certain reputation in legal circles, shall we say, Mark?
Yeah.
In other words, I know they can't bullshit me like they bullshit everyone else. Well, not everyone else, but a lot of people, most of them.
No, I strike that with me a lot too. But I generally don't ask.
You're on the same sort of thing, yeah.
Yeah, I don't ask a lawyer a question unless I already know what the frickin' answer is.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. Yeah, well, it makes you realise, all these jokes we have about lawyers, My wife used to have a good one. She used to say, fuck, it was so cold in Wellington Day, the lawyers kept their hands in their own pocket. Things like that. She had some good jokes, Carolyn. And,
good one.
Yeah. What's 5 lawyers at the bottom of a lake? A good start.
Good start. Absolutely.
You wonder why they got all those jokes about lawyers, eh? Now we know why.
Yeah. Well, I think the judiciary, especially since the old JCC came into being, it's just been a complete have. Over 3,500 complaints and nothing. Old Judge Wilson might have got, kicked out once, but and you don't hear about that do get removed if they do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they want to try and keep saving face. We don't want to let we're kicking a few judges out. We'll just do that quietly and let everybody think it's still running tickety-poo.
Well, look. You know how we've got this bloody this international corruption index? What's it called? Corruption.
Yeah, I know what you mean. We're at the lowest apparently, so they keep saying
we're at one of the highest, up there with Denmark and a few others, right?
Yep.
Yeah, but what they don't tell you, Mark, is that it's based on perception, what people think.
Yeah.
It's not based on reality, mate.
Or based on evidence. God forbid that happens.
Not on evidence, no, not on evidence. And they don't tell you that a lot of government agencies, including even the Ombudsman, donate a lot of money to that outfit, right? I can't just think of their name off the top of my head at the moment, but yeah. And I'll tell you what, in my book, corruption's got there's 2 different kinds of corruption. There's taking money and benefits for doing favours, right?
Yeah.
Or doing something corruptly.
On the table.
And there's the other kind. Not doing your job that you swore or took an oath or were paid to do as a public official. That's corruption too. Hey, we're world beaters at that. We're world experts.
Well, I mean, they're supposed to take an oath. Yeah, it's supposed to take an oath, but a lot like policemen, they don't take an oath. They get it administered like a fucking injection. It gets administered to them whether they like it or not.
Yeah, I know. And look, I'll tell you now. Like when we were down the Octagon, we used to have quite a few cops come in, on light shift. They'd come down and we'd give them a cup of coffee or something, or shoot the breeze with them.
Yep.
And a lot of their mates have been mandated out the fucking police, and we got talking to them. Now, a lot of them don't like doing what they're fucking told to do, believe me. Now, there's actually quite a few decent cops around, funny enough. You know?
It's just hard to find them.
But they can't. But the bad bastards are the ones that rule the roost.
Yeah, it's like whack-a-mole. They stick their head up, they're going to get macked straight back down again and let the crook ones.
Exactly. Yeah. You don't get ahead by being a forthright fucking fair and reasonable officer that just wants to do his job and serve the people in New Zealand. You know,
you rattle the chains, you won't be around the chains any longer.
Well, especially when Mike Bush was the bloody commissioner. I tell you, glad he's long gone. Thank Christ. I mean, the run costed down quite a bit, but he's done a hell of a lot better job than Bush ever would have.
Yeah.
You may remember when Bush first became the commissioner. Within days, he was at that Hutton's funeral saying, what a great career this man had, you know? Yep. Hutton, the one that a Royal Commission found, planted fucking cartridge cases on Arthur Allen Thomas and got him convicted for a double murder case. But he's a great cop, according to Mike Bush. Now, this is what I worry about. What message does that send to the good young cops coming out of police college that just want to do their job? That the commissioner is saying, well, Hutton is a great cop.
Yeah.
Now, people should have thought about that. Bush, in the other country, Bush would have been down the road straight away, you know? Because
you could tell he was a crook bastard straight away. And Peter Marshall before him, you know, he was a bit of a...
Oh, Peter Marshall. and Jamison, that Christian lunatic before him.
Oh, that's classic. The Zoom thing here is telling me we've only got 9 minutes left, but that's all right.
Yeah, cool. We've got to stick to the fucking nothing, as they say.
Yeah, well...
So, I'm planning on taking this to the United Nations Human Rights Committee.
Yep.
I'm not letting it lie, obviously. And we'll see, because New Zealand signed up, as you would know, Mark, to the
ICCPR. Yep.
Yeah, ICCPR, the International Convention on Civil and Political Rights, one of which says prisoners are to be treated humanely.
Yeah.
We've promised the world, the international community, we're going to abide by that.
Yeah.
We've signed it. We've given put the word of the New Zealand government on the line.
It's in the Bill of Rights.
You know,
yeah.
Well, we know going right back to the Treaty of Waitangi what fucking what their track record like on obeying treaties is like, don't we? Hey?
Yeah. Well, funny thing about the Treaty of Waitangi too, especially if you're like doing like Supreme Court appeals or those sorts of things, is you can do it under treaty grounds and always get accepted. But most people don't seem to realise the Treaty of Waitangi isn't just for Maoris. It's also for
that's a partnership
for us as well.
Yeah.
So
that's right.
Yeah, so you as the Pākehā in New Zealand can use the Treaty of Waitangi just as much as the Maoris can. You're a signing party to it.
It was good when our Maori, I led the campaign, obviously, to get prisoners back the right to vote, which was ultimately successful. Well, our Maori prisoners invoked the Treaty of Waitangi, and the Waitangi Tribunal held it was a grave breach of the treaty, the deprivation of the right to vote. So we won there as well. Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't just apply to the Maoris. It applies to all parties in New Zealand.
Exactly. So what was good for Maori was good for everybody. Well, all prisoners. Maori prisoners, Because the great majority, unfortunately, are Maori, and the numbers are creeping up again. You might have noticed.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've noticed it keeps getting higher and higher. And what do you think about the Maori elite that's going on at the moment? Any comments on that one?
Look, nothing that we could put on here, Mark, all right? Okay. Let's just put it this way. I have a hell of a lot of Maori friends, and they're not getting nothing, okay? Yeah. Bloody good people. It always used to amuse me that, that the vast bulk of prisoners in prison being Maori, you never see them in there. Where's this light? You never ever see them.
Really? So when you're in
prison, no, you don't see them.
You see more
in fact, the only ones you see, the only ones I remember coming in there from what you could call the elite was they got awarded a contract to help cease smoking, stole the fucking money. The prisoners didn't get any of the money. To go to quit smoking aids,
Yeah, just
hell of a lot of money went missing. Then they covered it up. Yeah.
Another excuse to extract millions of dollars out of the crown purse.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but the sad thing is, Mark, that money's not put on the Maori that really need it, and then it's not available to the fucking the normal government to spend on the Maori as well. Yeah, that's what pisses me right off.
Rather waste millions in paying the Northern Health units and shit to set up these pop-up fucking testing. How many million was spent on that? I mean, I filmed a couple of those testing sites. It's just fucking ridiculous.
It's fucking ridiculous. They get out the money when they want it, mate. Takes me back to when John Key was the Prime Minister.
Yep.
And they did a deal with Frontier and a few other private industries To give every kid in New Zealand a free school lunch was going to cost 20 million, right? You know, with all the private industry that was going to contribute, was it? John Key said, "Oh no, we haven't got enough money. We haven't got enough money. 20 fucking million. How many billions are gone on this bullshit?"
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right.
Yeah, you know, it's complete bullshit. Yeah.
It shocks me every time I think of how much money the actual, instead of even just sending it overseas to help out some other fucking country, deal with your own fucking business and your own.
Don't get me started on that.
You know, how many people are sleeping in cars since Jacinda's taken over?
I know, exactly. We got them down in Dunedin now. It's, you know, never really had much of that before. You know?
Yeah.
And it's cold down here, mate. I've seen them. That's why when we occupied the Octon, we used to take the homeless in at night and put them in a tent and shit, and they loved it, you know?
Yeah, good.
Had a bloody, got well looked after, fed, you know, it was, even the cops delivered a couple of bloody women that they wouldn't let the refuge down to us to look after, you know? Wow. Sent them down to us in a taxi from the police station, yeah.
Sad.
You know, because that was actually helping real people, you know?
Yeah.
It's,
not many people around these days that actually do it for the right causes. Well, if there are, you don't hear about them.
You don't, mate. Yeah. You don't.
It's just the corruption is right.
Yeah.
All right.
But that doesn't stop us, mate. We carry on.
I know. And nothing will that which doesn't destroy you makes you fucking stronger. You know, and I've been shot, I've been stabbed, I've been dead twice after a brain aneurysm. I'm still fucking kicking. So... The strongest steel, mate, is forged in the hottest fire. Exactly right. Very well said.
Dear God! That's what we say. Hey?
Dead right, dead far.
Dear God, mate.
I agree. All right, mate. Well, I'll get this edited up and up for people to see. And if you got anything else you want to say, mate, just touch base and we'll do it.
It's just a bloody shame that we've got. You know, if New Zealand would be a wonderful place if it wasn't for our fucking politicians. You know. Yeah, just need to get rid of about 200 odd in the central of Wellington there. There was a time. I'm not saying
inciting violence. Not inciting violence.
No, but there was a time when you know, I looked favourably. You know, I used to on some of the places like Liberia and that when the army had enough of the fucking politicians, they'd march a few of them down, storm the state and treat them right.
Yep.
And take over until the next lot come along. You know.
Yeah.
It was a salutary lesson to them. You know. Not that we would ever advocate that for New Zealand.
No, but wouldn't it be lovely to see you?
God, perish the thought. Right, mate, you take care. Keep up the good fight, eh?
Cheers, mate. I will do, and I'll send you a link once this is up, bro.
Bro, you take care, mate.
You too, Arthur.
Otho, do you want to stand up to your feet and follow us? Otherwise we're going to have to carry you to the RO. Otho? Alright, I'm just going to get him. Come on, get the other arm and I'll get this arm. Alright, Mr. Taylor.
Right, I want to see a manager, please.
All the managers are gone home, but the manager of this unit will be coming to see you in the morning.
That's not good enough. I'm an ordinary prisoner. I shouldn't be in an at-risk unit, and I'm being illegally held here.
Sorry?
I'm an ordinary prisoner.
Yes?
There's no justification for holding me in an at-risk unit.
Okay, the information given to me was that you didn't cooperate with the at-risk assessment when you were processed in the receiving office. Okay, and they've deemed you to be at risk because you did not cooperate.
I suggest you get someone down here to carry out an at-risk assessment, because you'll find I don't qualify as an at-risk prisoner, and I'm being subjected to below minimum standards.
Yeah, like I said to you, the manager will come and speak to you in the morning.
That's not good enough.
At this time you're deemed to be at risk, so that's why you're at the at-risk unit. Okay, do you want your meal?
Hey?
Do you want your meal?
You've got a PCR run for me?
Yeah, I'll go and grab one, yeah, that's fine.
A pen, please.
Sorry?
PCR one, please, and a pen.
You're on 15-minute obs, which means you don't get a pencil.
Well, how am I supposed to write on the PCR?
Yeah, you'll have to talk to the manager.
Do you want your dinner?
Well, all I'm going to do is keep recording. You know these signs of comms are recorded?
Yep.
Right, well, I'm going to keep recording my request to get a PCR1 and to see a manager.
Okay.
There's an on-call manager.
Do you want your dinner?
And you can get him.
Do you want your dinner?
Yeah, because he needs to secure my release from here as soon as possible.
Okay.
Because the dollars are mounting up, believe me.
Do you want your dinner?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah, the dollars are mounting up.
No, do you want...
are going to be in serious shit. This has all been recorded on the Syndical
Okay. Do you want your dinner?
I want to see an on-call manager.
Do you want your dinner, I'm asking?
I want to see an on-call manager.
Okay, we'll grab his dinner, we'll give it to him.
Refusing to get one.
I'm not, I've just got to give you a dinner so I can go away and do that for you. Okay?
Get hold of an on-call manager and you tell him that I need an at-risk
Okay.
assessment done because I'm qualified.
Here's your dinner.